And for at least our purposes here for the 411, that's pretty much it as it relates to FSRM. I've called it the unsung hero in part because it is so unbelievably simple to lay into place, to enable, to begin using and providing yourself with some really useful information. Now, obviously, there's more here to FSRM. Probably the most important part of FSRM, that file classification component, is something we'll discuss in more detail as we get to the next exam. But at least for now, recognize that FSRM can provide a lot for you if you just simply turn it on. So what have we talked about this module? We have talked about the installation of FSRM. Relatively simple and straightforward. We then went through the configuration of quotas, file screens, reports, and file management tasks to show us all the different ways in which FSRM can either present information to us or inhibit users from accomplishing things that they probably shouldn't be doing. Coming up next, we're going to change gears just a bit, and we'll move actually away just a little bit from file servers, at least half of the way away from file servers, and talk about file and disk encryption. In that upcoming module, we'll talk about two different ways in which you can encrypt files to further protect them against prying eyes. Using one way, the encrypting file services, we can turn on EFS in order to encrypt files that exist on a disk somewhere. So if a user needs to further protect that file, it can be encrypted and prevented from being accessed from people who do not have access. Now, EFS, which has been around for a very long time, is only one solution Microsoft supports in order to encrypt different files and folders. The other is BitLocker, which is intended to encrypt not just a single file or folder or series thereof, but an entire disk. And from there, we'll focus not so much on the file server use for BitLocker, but instead on a slightly more realistic scenario, that being the possible theft of a read-only domain controller in a remote site somewhere out in the rest of the world. In that upcoming module, we'll talk about BitLocker encryption, how to turn on the network unlock feature, as well as turning on some BitLocker policies to ensure that everything is configured in the best way possible. Anytime you're dealing with encrypting an entire disk, you want to make sure you have the ability to decrypt that disk. That discussion on BitLocker and EFS is a topic for our next module coming up.